The J-Spot. Everybody, this is your boy Antonia Brown from the Steve Harvey Morning Show, formerly of the Tom Jordan Morning Show, the Antonia Brown Radio Show, where me and Maisha count down the top 10 R&B jams in the country. Today, my second podcast. I'm doing this at Morris Media Studio off the Shaw, baby. If you don't live in L.A., you don't know what the Shaw is. The Shaw is short for Crenshaw. We shorten everything in L.A. You know, Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles is just Roscoe's. The Shaw, Crenshaw is the Shaw. Anyway, my second podcast. Big hand to Morris Media for putting this together. Also, I'd like to thank my producers today who are helping me out. Ross Allen. Ralph Hawkins Jr. wrote that song you hear in the beginning of the show. He's also instrumental in helping me put together all my Murders the Hits that we've done over the years on both shows, Tom Jordan's show and the Steve Harvey show, for about 15 years. All right, let's get right into it. I like to start off talking about movies because I go to a lot of movies. I was so happy a couple of weeks ago when they had the Oscars that I saw pretty much every movie that was nominated because I go to movies all the time. So I got 3 new movies for you today. You want to check them out? Don't take my word. Go for it. And my buddy James House said he didn't like the movie. It was kind of all over the place, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a white person expression. When they say thoroughly enjoyed it, they really mean they enjoyed it a lot. I'm talking about none other than Mr. Tyler Perry's movie, Medea's Family Funeral. Funny as shit. It really is. It really is. He's got one new character in there, a guy in a wheelchair who talks through his throat. That's fucking hilarious. The second movie I saw, check it out, stars Tyler Perry and Cassie and in a cast of others that are in the movie. Really good, but don't take my word for it. A lot of black people. It did about $30 million over the weekend. Another movie I just saw the other night was called Greta. Greta, it's a suspense novel. It's one of those You're Not Gonna Leave Me type movies, but it's a twist on it. It's an elderly lady who's obsessed by this young girl. Yeah, Greta. Check that movie out. If you like a suspense novel, it's really good. And then last but not least, I saw this movie last week. It's called How to Train Your Dragon. Now, when I first heard the title, I thought it was a porno flick. How to Train Your Dragon sounds nasty to me. But this is the second movie of the first movie, How to Train Your Dragon. And in this movie, the black dragon falls in love with, of course, what? A white dragon. We can't have a damn thing. Why couldn't he find another black dragon to be with? They always got to come out with something white that's been black for years. Look at this right here. White Twix.
Oh, wait a minute.
Look at this right here. White Twix. Who the hell asked for white Twix? And it's smaller. Okay, that proves our theory. But go see those movies. They're very good movies, especially the Tyler Perry movie. It's one of them, when they say laugh out loud movie, it definitely is a laugh out loud movie. It's what's so good about going to the movies, and I go a lot, and you see a movie where a lot of black people go, which is going to be the Tyler Perry movie. It's surprising to see black people who have not been to the movies in a long time, and they are shocked. I mean, shocked by the price of popcorn and sodas. Yes, so they sneak a lot of their shit in on their own. You be smelling smells in there, you know they didn't sell at the concession stand. You smell sandwiches, and you smell ribs and wangs and shit in there, but it's a good movie. It's a really good movie, and the other movie is Greta, a very, very, very good movie. Check that out. People always say, well, why don't you say who's starring the movie? I don't try to keep up with who the stars. If I know them, I know them. If I don't know them, I don't know who the fuck it is. Just go see the movie. When you leave, you won't know either. You just be, oh yeah, that's that person that's in such and such. And then How to Train Your Dragon is a movie that you can take your kids to go see. And like I said, it's a story where the black dragon from the first movie falls in love with a white dragon. Kind of like the NBA. He's the NBA. He's the NBA of dragons. You know, like kind of like Kanye and Kim Kardashian. You know what I'm saying? OJ and well, I don't want to use OJ because she's no longer with us. But any black ball player, you know, they all got white women, which is okay. And nobody's just saying, but why couldn't a black dragon fall in love with a black dragon? Why? Just like I said before, they even have come out with a white Twix. Show that again. White Twix. Look at that. Black Twix is bigger. White Twix is smaller, which is what we've been saying for years. Don't go by us. We've said it. We have also said it. Black Twix. Show it again one more time. The Black Twix is much thicker and longer. And the White Twix is just... White Twix almost comes off the Black Twix almost comes off the screen. And then you have the White Twix. So don't go by my word. It's just, you know, that's the new thing. Let me see your Twix. All right. And we're in the 5-minute break yet. All right, we're going to take a break. I'm going to talk about something I'm trying to sell. And the one thing I'm trying to sell, y'all, is my nuts. This is a connection to my hot sauce. And a lot of times when I talk about hotter than a mofo nuts, people think I'm joking. But all you got to do is go to janthonybrown.com. You can order my nuts. Please try my nuts. The can we have now looks totally different, but they're very hot, they're very spicy, and they're very salty. They're so salty, I had to stop eating them. And I want to warn all diabetics, there's a lot of salt in these nuts. So if you got diabetes, it's definitely going to raise your blood pressure, so stay away from them. I'm going to come out with some that don't have salt in them at all. They'll just have the flavor. They're very good, delicious. You can also order my hot sauce. I have peach and pepper, cayenne, habanero, and garlic. Peach and pepper, cayenne, habanero, and garlic. All right? So please go to my website, order my hot sauce if you can, and please try my nuts. These nuts! All right, what is up next? All right, I guess you guys have been keeping up with CPAC. CPAC is a convention that they have for the Republicans around once a year around this time. And it used to be where you had a lot of Republicans who totally disagreed with Trump or had different ideas and different ideologies would speak. But Trump took it over this year. Trump went Def Jam. Trump went hard. Trump was cussing. Let me let you hear this. Listen to this.
Political bullshit.
Many politicians curse, but only rarely in public. But Donald Trump has taken the practice to new heights, regularly using vulgar language in televised rallies.
They're ripping the shit out of the sea.
Most recently, he insulted professional athletes like Colin Kaepernick, who take a knee during the national anthem.
Get that son of a bitch off the field right now. Out. He's fired.
Trump used to be even more...
Trump got a tight 10 for Def Jam, man. Son of a bitch, bullshit. But you know, you only curse if you're not a cursor when you get upset, when the heat is on your ass. Play that again. Trump went Def Jam, man.
Political bullshit.
Many politicians curse, but only rarely in public. But Donald Trump has taken the practice to new heights, regularly using vulgar language in televised rallies.
They're ripping the shit out of the sea.
Most recently, he insulted professional athletes like Colin Kaepernick, who take a knee during the national anthem.
Get that son of a bitch off the field right now. Out. He's fired.
Trump used to be even more profane.
This goes to show you that Trump is cussing a lot. Not because I don't think he was a cursor until the heat started getting on his ass. And you know how much upset they would be if we had tapes of Obama. I mean, if there was anybody that really should have cussed, it would be Obama. You know, I was always waiting for Obama to go, these motherfuckers, this shit right here, this bullshit. But he never did. He kept his cool. But Trump is losing it, and he's losing it because his lawyer, Michael Cohen, testified for about 2 or 3 hours. Trump goes to CPAC and he talks for 2 hours just to get the heat off his ass. But, you only curse when you're in a jam. And when you play that one more time,
Political bullshit.
Many politicians curse, but only rarely in public. But Donald Trump has taken the practice to new heights, regularly using vulgar language in televised rallies.
They're ripping the shit out of the sea.
Most recently, he insulted professional athletes like Colin Kaepernick, who take a knee during the national anthem.
Get that son of a bitch off the field right now. Out. He's fired.
Trump used to be even more...
Trump has told about 2,000 to 3,000 lies since he's been in the White House. Now, everybody knows it's getting close to time for us to have our election round. And the Democrats probably have about 80 people running, about 170. You got Kamala Harris, you got, who else are some of the people? I can't think right now. But you have a picture of some of the runners, people that are running for... Yeah, I think the front runner, this is just me, unless Biden gets into the race, is Bernie Sanders. Look at the crowd. Look at the crowd Bernie's bringing out. And here's the other thing. Everybody who's running now has seemed to jump on board of what Bernie was talking a couple of years ago, like socialized medicine, raising the work wages to $15, socialized medicine, free college for everybody. Now all the people who are running now are using those issues, and everybody thought Bernie was cuckoo when he was talking about that last time. But look at the crowd. You got another picture of the crowd size?
Hang on, I have the Democrats.
Yeah. I mean, he's bringing the people out. And, I know Beto O'Rourke might get into the race. Look at all the people. I don't know if they want The Rock to win. You got Bernie Sanders. You got Kamala Harris. You got, I know he's not running over there. But you got about 15 or 20 but 14 people running for office. And I think right now the front runner is Bernie. That's just some of them. That's probably not even all of them. But the front runner, all those weren't the people. We're just having some fun. All those weren't the people that were but the big crowds of Bernie Sanders, he's bringing them out. Yeah, he's bringing out black Twix-sized crowds. You see what I did there? All right, everybody, is my 5 minutes up? Oh, wait a minute. The phone call doesn't come till later. I'll take a phone call later on in the show. All right. Before we go to our next subject, we're going to talk about, again, my nuts. My nuts, y'all. Please go to janthonybrown.com to check out my stuff that I'm selling on the website. I'm selling my nuts and my hot sauce. It'll all be operational in a couple of weeks. Trust me. You'll be able to go to amazon.com to pick it up. All you got to do is place your order. Amazon will send it out to you. And in the nuts, you're going to get a cookbook for the hot sauces. You're going to get a fan because the nuts are very hot. And you're going to get the nuts and you're going to get the apron. That's if you order the hot sauce set. And we're going to be selling it in sets. And next week when I do the podcast, I have pictures of all the merchandise that I'm selling. But right now, I got the nuts on sale. These are American-made nuts. They're made in Florida. They're very delicious. There's a lot of sodium in them, so I'm telling you now before you order them, if you're diabetic, you might want to wash these nuts first. And it's always important to wash your nuts. Always important to wash your nuts before indulging in nuts. Wash your nuts. All right, let's get back into the podcast. All right, we just finished Black History Month, and people have been saying this is the absolute worst Black history we've had in a long time. I think the Black histories we had when we were enslaved were the worst Black histories, but these were pretty bad. Let's see, we had R. Kelly in the news. We had Michael Jackson in the news, where they did the Neverland thing that came out right at the end of Black History. And the big thing was Jussie Smollett. Then we had some good news. We had some real good news. Hold on, we got a call just about Jussie Smollett? Okay. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Yeah. How you doing?
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, me want to talk about the Smollett guy.
Go right ahead.
Smollett.
Yeah.
The guy on with the shoe, Empire. I like the
yes.
shoe.
Uh-huh.
The guy, why he do that, man?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Why he make it bad like that and say someone beat him up and attack him and pour bleach on him and
I couldn't
scratch
tell you.
him up like that? Them two guys didn't do that, man.
No,
He made it up. He made the whole thing up, man.
You're
Why
absolutely
why
right.
you think he do that?
The guys didn't match the ass whooping. You're
It made
absolutely
it
right.
look bad, man.
Yeah, it made
It's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Make black people set black people back.
Yeah.
Do you know why he do it?
I just told you. I have no idea.
He's stupid, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy crazy.
He is
He's
very...
a nice looking guy like that,
Yeah.
make up a story, making money. He
Yeah.
was making
About
money.
$65,000 a
Making
year,
lots
a week.
of money, man.
Yeah.
The guy was making what, 63 or
60
something like that. I don't know what, but there was a lot of money.
65.
You can't get behind a guy who do stupid shit like
No, don't curse. We don't need
You
cursing.
can't get behind a guy who do dumb stuff like that.
No, okay. No, you can't.
And the fuck?
Oh, hey,
the
with the
fuck
cussing.
you do that? Excuse me, I apologize.
Yeah, okay, all
Why
right.
you think you do that?
I don't know why he did it.
He's a bastard, man.
Hey, with the
He's a
cursing.
bastard.
Hey, with the
Sorry,
cursing.
man.
Okay.
But I like your show. You're
Thank
doing
you.
a good job, man. Don't ever do nothing stupid like
Thank
that,
you.
okay?
All right, all right.
All right, talk to you later, man.
Later, man.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
He can't stop cursing. You know, put him on the phone. No more. All right. Let's see what else is in the news. It was a good year. I mean, it was a good year. And we ended the month of Black History. We really did good. We ended it with Spike Lee. Spike Lee won an Oscar. And then the big award was Samuel Jackson won an award too. See if you can find that picture of Samuel Jackson holding Spike Lee. That's what Samuel Jackson won. He won a Spike Lee. We'll find it in a minute. The first Spike Lee award goes to Samuel Jackson. You got it? Oh, there it is. It's coming up. There he is. That's Samuel Jackson holding his award, the Spike Lee. This, friends are friends, but there's just something uncomfortable about that, especially when one man has his legs open hugging another man, okay? But that's Samuel Jackson winning his award, the first annual Spike Lee. So, okay, we had more news, more kind of bad news. It wasn't bad news, but I don't know if you're familiar with Antonia Brown. Now, I can tell you right now, I don't know a lot about sports. In fact, I have a sure way to get into a sports conversation if you're in a bar and you just want to get in. You want to get your way in. It's where everybody wants to get in so you don't feel left out. This is what you say. People are talking sports back and forth. You enter the conversation by saying, so how's that big white boy from Kansas doing? There's always a big white boy from Kansas that everybody knows about. Then you're in. All right. With that being said, Antonia Brown is I think he's a wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He wants to leave. He wants to be respected in the game. And whenever you work someplace, you want to be more respected as to where you work, and you want to go someplace. I'm the last person to say, don't do it. The very last. I've left jobs before. But this is a picture of Antonia. This is Antonia Brown. No. I'm not saying what he's saying is not serious. I'm just saying it's hard to take you serious when you got a blonde mustache. That's all I'm saying. When you walk into the meeting with a blonde mustache, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with your hair, that's what you like, that's what you like. But it's hard to look at you and negotiate terms when you got a blonde mustache. When it looks like a milk mustache. It's just hard to go. I hear what you're saying, but it's hard to look at that blonde mustache and take you serious. What he's saying is right. He wants to be respected. He wants to ball more. He wants to be respected. He's sick of the bullshit. Yada, 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 yada. But when you got him, why didn't you just go all the way blonde? I mean, why just the mustache? What happened with you? Did you run out of, Beijing? Is that what you used to dye a mustache? Isn't Beijing a dye? A color. Did you run out of color? Okay, anyway. All right, that's just me. All right. Somebody gonna find me somewhere and beat my ass. All right, it's just like wearing a cap. Can you find a cap? They have these caps that look like penis hats. A dickhead hat. It's just like if you wore a dickhead hat and you go into the meeting and you want to be taken serious. I'm not saying Antonia Brown is a dickhead. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when you go into a meeting with a blonde mustache and you're a black man and that's the only thing you got blonde, it's hard to be serious. Show the dickhead hat. Let me see the dickhead hat. The dickhead hat is just... Now you walk into a board meeting and you got dickhead hat on your head. And just like, okay. You got a dickhead hat on you. So I call this meeting to order, and I want to talk about the projections of this year, and I'm winning it. See what I'm saying? Now who's gonna put that back up again? Who's gonna take you serious? Now put Antonio's picture right next to it. I'm not saying don't go telling everybody Jay said Antonia Brown is a dickhead. That's not what I said. What I said was, it's hard to take you serious when you got a blonde mustache. Dickhead, blonde mustache, side by side. Who you gonna take serious in the meeting? You sit in the board meeting, everybody got on a suit and white shirt, and you sitting there with a blonde mustache, the other person on there got a dickhead. And what? Okay. All right. All right. I want to close out my show today with two things. Talking about movies and go back to movies. There's a movie out that if you're a comedian, you need to go see. It's a movie called Stan and Ollie. And at the bottom I have Pigmeat Markham. I hope is that spelled correctly? Pigmeat Markham and Baby Seal. Now, the reason I have Pigmeat Markham and Baby Seal at the bottom is because they were also a comedy team around that time that didn't get the credit or as much credit for what they did when Laurel and Hardy. The movie should have been called Laurel and Hardy, but because those names are owned by a studio, they call the movie Stan and Ollie. And it's just basically a good film about a comedy team who were really good friends. Unlike Abbott and Costello and unlike Martin and Lewis, they hated each other. Sometimes you have people who work together, they can work real well together, but and when they're away from each other, when they separate, they hate each other guts. And the reason I'm focusing on Pigmeat Markham and Baby Seal, because that comedy troupe is the ground of where Abbott and Costello got their bit from, that has to do with who's on first. It's a very famous bit. It's the only comedy bit that's in the Baseball Hall of Fame. It has to do with who's on first. But they got the idea to do that bit from Pigmeat Markham and Baby Seal. Their bit has to do with they both find $40 on the ground. And in dividing up the money, Pigmeat Markham says, okay, we're going to divide the money. Now, I got $20 and you got $22. And Seal says, wait a minute, hold on, that ain't right. Why is it not right? Because I got $20 and you got $22. And so that's the play on words. I'm pretty sure that Abbott and Costello took the idea and twisted it around and made their bit Who's on First, which happened to a lot of black comedians back in the day because they weren't allowed to get the exposure on television and even on the radio. But hats off to them, but it does not make the Stan and Ollie a good movie. I was just pointing that out there. All right, it's about time for me to get up out of here, but before I go, if you're going to be in the Myrtle Beach area, Black Bikers Week, you want to check this show out right here. Boom. That would be Def Jam Comedy Reunion, 25 years. I got a lot of people on this show. It's going to be through Thursday through Saturday, 23, 24, 25. It stars Shucky Ducky. I have Shucky Ducky's name spelled wrong. Shucky Ducky, Hamburger, James Stevenson III, Bruh Man, hosted by your boy, Jandy Brown. So if you're going to be down in the Myrtle Beach area, Black Bikers Week, get your tickets. It's going to be at the Asher Theater. You can go online right now to get your tickets. The Asher Theater. Thursday through Saturday, Def Jam Reunion. All of these people have been on Def Jam. Shucky Ducky, Hamburger, James Stevenson III, and Bruh Man. If you talk to Bruh Man will tell you I am the one who gave him his start in comedy. I met Bruh Man when I was doing warm-ups for the Martin Show. I just thought he was hilarious. I'd say, man, you should do stand-up. He did stand up. The rest is history. He works a lot. So remember, if you're going to be in the Myrtle Beach area, it's the Def Jam Comedy Reunion starring Shucky Ducky, Hamburger, James Stevenson III, Bruh Man, hosted by yours truly, J. Anthony Brown. All right, poet, play my music. Let's get up out of here. All right, everybody, there you have it. Today's show is brought to you by Jandy Brown, hotter than the mofo nuts. Go to jandybrown.com. Be sure to download my radio show on iHeartRadio with me and Maisha as we count down the top 10. And check me out at the J-Spot Comedy Club every Tuesday night. I got a show on Tuesday, 2 shows on Fridays and Saturday. I'll see you next week. Watch out there now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Watch out there now.